Immortality and perfection, I think everybody tries to achieve it, no matter what they say. In their hearts, everybody wants this. Everybody really wants to live forever. And a lot of times people take the refuge of religion because they realize, someday they're going to die. And so, will going to be perfection will be achieved when they go to heaven if they're good on this earth. May be true, may not be true, but let's just talk about this earth for now. And the reality of the situation is, even if you are religious or godlike or whatever you want to say, you should try to achieve longevity and good health no matter what. Now, vanity is one thing, but many people who accuse people of being vain, they themselves are just jealous. And, you actually have to take it with a grain of salt. But let me put forth a couple simple things. And actually, I was searching for if I did a video on electronic methods to do a type of facelift. I don't think I actually did that video because it was fairly secret knowledge. But I'm probably going to do one here pretty soon if I can find that information again. But I know a lot of people do want longevity, glamour, beauty, and perfection, because this is why they even go to movies, because they identify and almost want to live the life of the star, or they want to live the life of the setting that the movie is, bringing to them in their minds. So everybody deep down wants this, whether they admit it or not. Everybody wants it. So I want to actually go into a couple things that could actually release your inner spirit, or whatever you want to call it, probably make you feel better. And I talked about these things before, but I want to talk about it from another aspect. One, actually, I'm going to really harp on two things that they call vitamins, or are known as vitamins, but they're actually very powerful hormones. And they will protect the body in numerous ways. And that is vitamin C and vitamin D. Actually, what happens is, with vitamin D, for instance, vitamin D can also lengthen the telomeres of your chromosomes. So when your cells divide, that the telomeres are what's on the end of the chromosomes that will keep the information intact, because if the telomeres are long enough, when the cell divides, you're not going to lose any information. In other words, you're going to get a good copy of your cell. Some parts of the body are renewed every few weeks, like the stomach lining, for instance. But actually, your whole body is replaced in different lengths of time over, say, a year or two. Your whole body, all your cells in your body are replaced. This is going on all the time. And that is actually the aging process, where you lose this information after a period of time, because the telomeres get shortened, and then some of the information in the DNA is not copied. Vitamin D it's a hormone actually, can lengthen the telomeres. Now there's other things out there like astragalus root is one of the things, extract. Rhodiola is another herb. But those are more complicated. They're not easily available. They're not even as inexpensive. Astragalus root and rhodiola is they're Chinese herbs. But you probably don't need them. I mean, it's good if you have them, you want to take them, fine. But I'm going to emphasize this simple, because I'm going to just put this out there in a simplistic way. Now, vitamin D, they'll tell you the recommended daily allowance is 300 units a day, international units. If you're out in the sun for about 15 minutes during noontime with 50% of your body exposed, you'll get about 8,000 to 10,000 units, like in the middle of the day, let's say around noontime. You're not going to get a lot of vitamin D production, if it's morning or late afternoon, but right in the center of the day, 15, 20 minutes of 50% skin exposed, you get roughly 8,000 to 10,000 units of vitamin D. The medical establishment, and not all the medical establishment, because they vehemently disagree with each other, which tells me either some people are idiots or some people are flat out lying. The medical establishment will tell you that 2,000 units of vitamin D is the upper safe limit. Yet, a little bit of sunshine in a summer, during the time of summer usually, in the winter you won't get the same type of effect. The sun's rays have to be more direct. You'll easily get many times that. If you're out on the beach all day, you can get 80,000, 100,000 international units worth of vitamin D during the day. Now, the flip side of too much sun is that the UV rays could damage the sun, but I think it's the UVB rays, or UVB, is the one that actually produces the vitamin D in your skin. But my point is that if 2,000 units is the upper safe limit per some doctors, now some other doctors are saying something completely different, but if 2,000 units is the upper safe limit, I mean, it's saying that it's to go out in the sun for 15, 20 minutes during noontime with 50% of your skin exposed is giving you 4 or 5 times that upper safe limit. That doesn't make sense that 2,000 units is the upper safe limit. So the reason I bring that up is that because I want to bring out that first, because there have been experiments where people have taken 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 or more units of vitamin D and with no ill effects. Now, one of the things you have to watch for is where you have a problem with vitamin D toxicity is actually it's a lack of vitamin K2. And vitamin K2, just to put it simply, where you can mainly get that from is cottage cheese, fermented cheese, like natto, Japanese natto, not very easily to get. Korean kimchi, one thing too. But cottage cheese, just remember cottage cheese, which has a lot of probiotics in it, and it's actually very good to eat with blueberries, strawberries, or other types of fruits, pineapples. And also the oils of hemp oil would be a good one too, or flax oil. It's actually a very, very helpful combination for other reasons too. Also very good for your skin. But, that would be one of the main reasons you can get a vitamin D toxicity if you were to take mega doses of vitamin D, is because of actually the lack of K2. It's not really a vitamin D toxicity, it's actually a lack of vitamin K2 toxicity. But the point of vitamin D is that it will actually preserve and lengthen the telomeres on your cells. So when your cells divide, that information stays intact and you don't age. That's simple. The other thing is vitamin D will also supercharge your immune system. It'll turn on your T killer cells, your CD4 cells, which can help with flu symptoms. It could, there's a lot of I don't know if I want to really put this out so strongly, but there's a lot of people in the medical profession that will say that higher doses of vitamin C will protect you more from the flu than a flu shot. There's people in the medical profession saying that. But what I'm saying now, though, is that vitamin D also can preserve your longevity and beauty for a hell of a lot longer than you will believe, because it is also very important for skin health. And on top of that, vitamin D will send a signal to your cells to repair the cells. It gives them the information if the cells are not working right, if one of the cells is malformed from, say, not having all the DNA information and it lacked all the telomeres to, there wasn't enough telomeres to protect information in the DNA, and when it divided, it was something wrong with that cell. The vitamin D will actually repair that cell, give it the right information to tell that cell to repair itself. And if it cannot repair itself, it will tell that cell to destroy itself so it does not reproduce and bring in more cells in the body that are not correct. So that is another thing that can actually go a long way to preserving beauty for maybe many more years than thought possible. Because, we may not, it's actually my contention, and actually I'm doing this now because I took a lot of vitamin D, but I really started upping it a lot more. And and also to make sure you take D3. D3 is a type of vitamin D that humans use. D2 is plant vitamin D. Well, I personally am taking a lot more vitamin D now. The other thing is with vitamin C. Now, a lot of people know that vitamin C is a very powerful antioxidant. And I know you can get glutathione, you can get alpha lipoic acid. There's other things out there that are a lot more money. Vitamin C is inexpensive. I talked about this before. But I also want to bring up is that when you go into mega doses of vitamin C, there's actually another chemical chain reaction that occurs where vitamin C works not only as an antioxidant, but it also works as an oxygenator, an oxidant, where it oxygenates the body. And this is really why mega vitamin C works against all these bad things that doctors have been now rediscovering from Linus Pauling, which they shot him down so many times before. And I know there's going to be people that talked about Linus Pauling saying, yeah, he died of cancer at age 93. But, I also realized he was not given, and he did not even take anywhere near the vitamin C that some other people and other medical professionals are recommending. He was actually taken far short of that, even though it was far more than recommended. Now, me personally, I'm probably taking I think at least 25 to 30,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day now. And I have read that you can actually build up a tolerance to taking more and more vitamin C where you're not bowel intolerant to it. You might be bowel intolerant somewhat in the beginning, but then you get used to it and you can up the dose a little bit at a time, and you can take way more oral vitamin C after a period of time than anybody else could than somebody tried to do it initially. And you're actually getting into an oxygenation process. Oxygenating the body goes a long way to preserving cellular health, longevity, fighting disease, fighting cancer. And the healthier you are, the more oxygen that's in your body, the longer you're going to live. Actually, that's probably a lot to do with why way back when there was a lot more oxygen on this earth, and people lived a lot longer. But also, I have to remind people, if you don't have, I've talked about this before, but we have all 4 genes in our body to produce vitamin C, except that one of the genes is dormant. And this was something that Linus Pauling talked about, because he said throughout the entire animal kingdom, all animals produce their own vitamin C in their body in mega quantities per pound, except for humans, primates, guinea pigs, and a certain species of bats. For humans, primates, guinea pigs, and a certain species of bats, vitamin C must be taken from food. But that does not necessarily mean you're getting the optimal level. It's been theorized that Noah, from the Bible, lived to be 920 years old, allegedly. I know some people are going to argue with me about religion, but I'm not here to argue about religion. But it's been theorized that it was possible that maybe he had all 4 genes at that time, when people used to live greatly extended lives of hundreds of years old, that all 4 genes were working and people produced their own vitamin C in their body. Because scientists do theorize that we would live many times longer. And when they taken this capability out of mice and removed the capability of mice to produce their own vitamin C, their lives were greatly shortened. But to give you an example, like we're talking about animals, a cat will have 2,400 milligrams of vitamin C produced in its little 14-pound body. Whereas they're telling you, the average human, which is, 100 to 200 pounds or whatever in that range somewhere, is, only requires 60 to 75 milligrams, whereas a cat does 2,400 milligrams and they're 14 pounds. But that's the same type of ratio per pound throughout the animal world. Like a goat, which might weigh 160 pounds, will produce 14,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day and maybe over 100,000 milligrams on its own if it gets sick. But that's how it is throughout the animal world. But in megadoses, vitamin C is a major oxygenator. It's also a protector of collagen. Now, you could take other things like coconut oil, very important. Garlic. Believe it or not, garlic is very, very important for collagen. It's also a very powerful antimicrobial that does not destroy any of the good gut bioflora, which is very, very important for your health. But I don't think anybody's taking the optimal levels. I was aware of some of this stuff, and I'm aware of so many different things, but sometimes the most important things are hidden by an overdose of information from too many different herbs and supplements and too many. Like, yes, you do need all these things. In other words, vitamin C will last in your body and be reused and stay in your body longer with making sure you have enough of the trace element selenium or alpha lipoic acid. Yes, these are true. But it's I can't overemphasize that vitamin C and vitamin D convert probably single-handedly, those two things, with a well-balanced diet, greatly contribute to overall longevity and healing and staying youthful for an extremely long period of time. Now, it's my personal opinion that a human should be taking more than what the goat produces on a daily basis. Like the goat produces 14,000. In other words, that's an average human weight, 160 pounds, like roughly. Where human is 100 to 200 pounds. It's most people are in that range, right? Or 90 pounds to 250 or whatever they are, right? Most humans are in that range. But a goat will produce way more than that when they're sick. But you want to get it up to the point where you have the oxygenation process going on. And it probably, it's my personal opinion. I know I'm doing this, though. I'm being the experimenter here. But the thing is when you need about, I'm taking about 25,000 to 30,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C. So I assume that, it's going to bring us up to about a level where there's a constant oxygenation process going on. As far as vitamin D, I'm taking at least 10,000 units, more like 20,000 units a day, international units, which is, 300 is supposed to be the recommended daily amount. 2,000 is supposed to be the amount where it could possibly get toxic. And, I'm taking several times what they say is toxic, which could be toxic. But at the same time, I'm also making sure I'm getting enough K2, because I realize the toxicity is really not from the vitamin D. It's from the lack of K2, not having enough K2 to process the vitamin D. So cottage cheese is definitely on the menu, along with blueberry and other types of toppings like that, and hemp oil. So this is an experiment I'm doing, but I think the logic behind it is very, very solid. And these are not really vitamins, they're hormones. Vitamin D and vitamin C. Probably C, well, I can't say one's really, like vitamin D, if you're in a southern area and you get out there in the sun for maybe 15, 20 minutes per day, you're going to get a lot of vitamin D. If you, half exposed, right? for about 15-20 minutes a day during the middle of the day. You're going to get a lot of vitamin D that way. So you can get that free, you know. So if you're afraid to take cod liver oil or whatever like that, you could do that method. And I don't think any medical profession would say something bad about that for 15-20 minutes of sunlight during the middle of the day, because you're probably going to get about roughly 8,000 to 10,000 units, and I'm taking more than that, by far more. Now, I personally, though, I'm very, very, very suspicious, though. I don't think anything's ever been, these things have been so brand new, and what's been known about it has been hidden, but also what's not been known about it is also pointing to that even higher doses are needed for the optimal effect. Like when they talked about vitamin C being an anti-cancer treatment, like using IV vitamin C. They should be doing IV vitamin C plus also mega oral vitamin C at the same time. That's something else that's been going on. But also I look at it from, if it fights cancer by oxygenating the body, it's got to be preserving the body and lengthening the life of your cellular structure, along with vitamin D, which lengthens the telomeres, boosts the immune system extremely, strong amount, and also will instruct any cells to repair themselves or tell those cells to self-destruct if they cannot be repaired, so they do not reproduce and cause havoc in the body. Between those two hormones, vitamin C and vitamin D, I'm totally sold on mega doses. Totally. But I also realize they have to have a balance of other nutrients. So, I take other things besides, but I just want to put it out that, some of the simplest things can provide probably the most longevity and health benefits, but also the long-term youthfulness that could probably last decades longer. Because when people talk about, they think they're taking a lot of, I used to think, 1 or 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C was a lot, because they tell you 60 to 75 was the normal amount. It's nothing. It's not enough to do the job where you start getting an oxygenation process in the body. Definitely not. Even 3,000 or 5,000, it's not enough to make that oxygenation process happen. But like I said, it's my experiment. I'm not telling you what to do, but I want to share this information because I think it's correct. I did thoroughly research it, and I'm not going to get involved in all the chemical structures and what they change into, because, it just turns into a 2-hour freaking discussion. But I know what most people are really interested in. Most people are interested in being young or reverse aging and staying that way for an extremely long period of time. I mean, I must have talked, every woman I talked to, if she, oh God, I wish if I knew what I knew now and when I was 20, oh my God, watch out. And, they wish they act like they don't want to be that way and that young. But if somebody could wave a magic wand over them and, change them from the 50 to 20 overnight, oh, they would go for it. I know it. But I'm suspicious that this can actually happen, because your body does reproduce all of its cells over a period of a couple of years. Everything has changed. Everything. Your bones, everything. Your skin is, I forget what it is, a few months. The stomach is a matter of days. I mean, that's because that's one of the areas that is stomach acids and all that type of stuff. But everything in your body is replenished all the time. You're always producing new cells. So vitamin D is protecting those telomeres and fixing the cells that are broken, and the cells that cannot be fixed, telling them to destroy themselves so they will not reproduce and put more defective cells in your body. But that's only mega vitamin D. It's like, And I see too much logic to this. And I think the only problem is where you can have the lack of K2, but cottage cheese should cover that. You know, kimchi is another one, not cheese, natto cheese, fermento cheese. The fermented, it's actually natto, is fermented soy from Japan. Very good for your cardiovascular system. Also been known as an clotting factor. You know, maybe can help with preventing strokes. It's been alleged to do that. But the vitamin between those two hormones, vitamin C and vitamin D, it may actually be the fountain of youth. It may actually be. It may be the fountain of youth going to youth, even when you think that things are impossible. Now, I don't know if I did put out a video on electronic methods that are a contact method for a type of facelift that works pretty damn well. If I haven't, I'm going to put one out fairly soon. I'll have to see if I put that out. But if I have not, I'm going to put it out, that information. I wasn't going to put it out because I was thinking, you know, somebody's going to say they had a problem with it or something. But, you know, it's all experimental. Do whatever you want. That was the main drawback I didn't want to put that information out for, because I figured somebody's going to bitch about it or something, you know, because that's what happens. There's always somebody that has a problem with anything. So, but I think I will put that information out. I might have put it out before, but I think I didn't really, you know, make it that well known. So I can't even find a video on it. Maybe I didn't. So, but if I did, I'm going to post that on the bottom in the comments about, you know, how to do an electronic facelift, because that's there are frequencies that can actually improve the appearance of the skin and the wrinkles. Frequencies using a contact method in a certain sequence. It's well hidden information. And you know, the thing is, it's basically free, you know. It's like, you know, it doesn't really cost nothing. I mean, yeah, you get a cheap frequency generator and you go for it, you're done. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. And I don't sell frequency generators. You can get whatever brand you want. I mean, I don't care. You know, it's just a frequency generator. But, you know, I look at this like there are so many different things that have been out there for ages, but people are deflected by Hollywood, marketing, big bucks bullshit, professionals, other weasels like that. Even a religious, you know, your body doesn't matter, just give me your money. Yeah, tell me another one. They're the biggest hypocrites in the world. But I know everybody is interested in this, because not only will it help lengthen your life, but it'll give you clarity of thought, make you feel better. It'll make you more productive. Oh, it'll make you more productive, and it'll affect the GDP of the economy, because if everybody's more healthy in a true fashion, not in the Obamacare fashion with drugs, in those sadistic, satanic drug dealers called pharmaceutical and med dealers. If everybody's truly more healthy, more vibrant, more bright, more free, more energetic, come up with new ideas, new methods of doing things, could use all their experience but with the vibrant skills of a healthy body, our GDP will go way up. It'll solve the economic crisis too, wouldn't it? So, you know, I want to put this out that I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing, I know it's well over 20,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I think it's 25 to 30,000 a day. Mainly oral vitamin C, but also liposomal vitamin C. I'm also doing now way the hell over 10,000 units of vitamin D, more like 20,000 units of vitamin D, at least initially. But I'm also taking true niacin, not the flush-free, the real niacin. The B3, the B12, the B vitamins, all the B vitamins, everything under the sun, and I've always have. But the big difference this time, and the essential oils, but the big difference this time is that I'm very much concentrating on those two hormones, vitamin C and vitamin D, in mega doses. So we shall see. But I'm doing this experiment. I'm not telling you to do it, but I think I'm correct in it, and I just want to put this information out. I mean, I'm not a doctor, and if I was a doctor, I probably couldn't tell you this, right? Because I think the doctors, the ones that are experimenting, they can only tell you for maybe it'll help prevent cancer, and we tested this. No doctor is going to tell you to do this for longevity, beauty reasons, and that's really that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants it. Everybody's seeking perfection. Everybody wants to be better. Now, I could be spiteful and hide this information. I'm not spiteful. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Is it going to work? I don't know. I never really embarked on this journey before exactly, but I've been experimenting with a number of supplements. I've been taking a number of supplements for a number of years. But I the more I really dug into what Linus Pauling said about other vitamins besides C, I'm totally convinced, and I don't want to go on too long about this, but just remember that vitamin C and vitamin D are powerful anti-aging hormones that can repair the body, repair your cells, and keep you young. So I'm taking more of them. Am I vain? Yeah, what the hell, right? I don't care. Why not? Why not? Some Christian wants accusing me of being vain? I don't know. Whatever. I call them jealous. Because they don't want you to do good. Maybe I'm not vain. Maybe I just want to do as good as I possibly can. But, some people don't want you to do that. And I can tell you, this is the absolute fact. When you people lose weight and you get a really good, tremendously beautiful body, your friends might like you at first, but after a while they become very jealous. That is human nature, but I'm a straight shooter on this stuff, and I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm highly, highly suspicious. Not just suspicious. I'm highly convinced this is the right thing to do, because that's why I'm doing it. So I want to share this with you, that I know there's be people disagree, but I think mega vitamin D and vitamin C with a healthy diet is going to be the ticket to longevity and beauty and youth and vibrance for a very long time.